Good evening and welcome to the Centralist Live Radio. I hope everyone's having a good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I don't want to leave anybody out. I know we broadcast around the world, and to my friends out in Sydney, I know a couple of y'all are listening this morning, and I hope y'all are all having a good day over there. It's happy Saturday up in there having a mug early in the morning. Shame on you. I'm jealous already, but I don't drink, but I'm still jealous. But still, for everybody over there, and we have an interesting. It's funny how many people listen to this show that are not from the USA. It really is. It's kind of strange when I get emails. A lot of emails I get are from Europe, and they'll say stuff like, "Y'all just are not like normal news." I said, "No, we talk about whatever we feel." I said, "We talk about important stuff, and then we go off on rampages and talk about everything else." And
on Musk.
we have a wide, variety of hosts that come on the network and on this show and stuff. And I don't know. I thought I invited Laura Lee. Maybe I didn't. Anyway, we're going to be talking about Canada in just a few minutes. There should be a Canadian with us, but shame. But we have Emily Menshouse with us from WT Frick. I always want to say it the other way, so I got to watch how I say her show because I don't want to get in trouble for the other word. We have Jay, stop it. Oh man, I need drugs, people. I need drugs. I miss the old days.
We all need them. We all need them.
But we have Jay McNicholas with us. He's over there at Church of Mavis, and he's over there with Jeffrey Mavis is what I was going to call him. Shame on me. He is kind of Jeffrey Mavis. He's Jeffrey Pritchett's his real name, people. But
when he gets banned on Facebook, he's got another one where he sees Jeffrey Mavis. Yeah.
Yes. So he's a church of Jeffrey Mavis, and we won't go into that tonight. We'll save that for a whole nother show. But we're just going to start with this right out the bat. So Canada is trying to ban basically free speech. So they're gonna start monitoring their people and what they post on Facebook stuff. Here now we have Canadian hosts, 9 of them. So that could actually hurt us if they decide to monitor what they're saying when they're live. Now I'm not sure how they can actually monitor my network. That would be illegal. It would break all kind of laws, international laws, financial. They'd break all kind of laws. So I'm not sure how they can do that. But maybe they could go ahead and find the person who was talking about it if they were listening. Say, well, we heard what you said, even though it was in America, we still heard what you said, and we're going to fine you for it. I don't understand. What are they scared of? I mean,
depend on their FCC kind of rules, what kind of airways. So, like in America, it's illegal actually to incriminate anybody by any kind of evidence gathered along the airwaves, and that would include radio and television and even like an electronic scope or like a radar device. And F. Lee Bailey actually proved that when he got out of his radar, speeding ticket. He brought up the fact that in the FCC rules, they're not allowed to use that kind of evidence in a court of law against you. And he got out of it. But that's what I would think, right? If they're not saying it on like Canadian television, they're saying it in Canada through the internet, through the radio station in New Orleans. It's gray area, I guess.
Yeah, it's a big gray area because it's any service it's got to cross to get here, unless it's being beamed straight in space and straight down. But more than likely, it's being hopscotched along a server network. So and everybody always thinks that from here to Canada is instant. It's not instant. There's probably 0.5 millisecond lag or something. John, we're using StreamYard tonight on what we're doing here, and then Roku is where our TV broadcast is. You can find it under UFOP. You got to watch though; it may be switching back to United Public Radio soon because that was its home station name. That's the actual network's name. And it may stay. I don't know. We're talking about putting up a Amazon page pretty soon. So. If we do that, maybe we'll have them both running up there, so a little bit. But yeah, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, you can catch us in Roku. You can zoom in on Emily and look at Emily and say, "Oh, how you doing, Emily?"
I got readers this week.
See that you can zoom in on Jay and see what Jay is up to.
I've crossed the line. I'm old.
You can see what I have back here if y'all are interested in all the crap.
And I found out my head's lopsided.
Yes, because your glasses do that. They get all crooked. And then, you always, when you're watching yourself in the camera, you always want to grab the wrong side when you're fixing them. Because
the longer the night goes, the harder it is for me to see. So I'll be looking like this.
Yes, and but I don't know what Trudeau, Mr. Pink Pants, is up to. I have no idea what he thinks he's doing, why he's doing this.
I think his dad was Castro, so it makes a lot of sense.
Well, it's interesting. We've actually talked about that on the network. So it was about 2 years ago, I was messing around with Laura Lee and them because they're from Canada too. And I'm like, oh, my ass, Castro button. So between her and Emily, I got like 400 photos. I'm not kidding y'all. Original photos out of Cuba. I mean, you could tell they weren't fake. They were actually original black and white photos. When you look at Castro at about age 35 or 36, Trudeau looks just like him. And we know for a fact that his mother used to go down there and spend weeks down there without his father. His father sometimes got tied up in the cabinet in Canada and couldn't go. And Castro was a friend of his, so he would just go on down. She'd go on down there and spend 6-8 weeks with him. Yeah, come on. We know Castro was a dog.
We know how cartels work. We know.
We also know Castro was a dog.
Well, Castro's a thug. He has multiple babies everywhere, especially out of Cuba.
So here we got Trudeau up there. Trashy Trudeau is what we're going to call him, and he's up there trying. He tried this in the last election to try to get this pushed through, and their Senate kicked it out. Hopefully, Canada's not this dumb. I mean, you're going to lose a lot of people who might have thought about moving to Canada. Maybe they're doing that to keep all the hippies from here moving up there again in the next Great War, but. It bothers me because like I said, we have 7 hosts up there, and it could make it could actually hurt the station. These are people who are hosts on here.
We got King Charles now too.
We got that's right. We do have King Charles, so he's the king of the Commonwealth.
It's hard to.
I can't see him wanting it. Prince Charles. I can't see him wanting to. I couldn't see him wanting to put a kibosh on social media because he actually uses. He's like Trump. He actually uses the damn thing. So I don't see why he'd want to. But I can see why Trudeau does because Pink Shorts is in trouble. Wait, say that again, Jack.
Doesn't England sort of control Canada anyway?
Sort of. I mean, they're a Commonwealth. They can suggest, I guess you could say, because they're a Commonwealth.
They control Canada.
But technically, then the Commonwealths are technically independent, but still under British rule. I don't know how that works because India is also a Commonwealth, and India is kind of like screw y'all, we'll do whatever we want. So I mean, and there's quite a few Commonwealths, but everybody wanted America to be one, but we're like, no, we're America. We're not.
We kind of sold back out to the British Empire.
Well, we love the Brits. The Brits are like
we are a U.S. corporation. We are not a government.
We love the Brits. Everybody loves a good Brit. It's one of those things in America.
I don't.
And what makes this so hard? So if for some reason we ever tried to separate ourselves, now some countries we could separate ourselves from. Britain we couldn't. Our finances.
I love British people. I just don't like their setup with the royals. I'm not a royal.
The royals don't do anything, though.
But
they're useless.
Tons of money
because it's their money. See, that's what people forget. It is their money. It's not. They had that money long before. No, that's not the taxpayers' money.
And
the way the Brits work is so they have basically. How would you explain it in America? It's like when you get a bunch of money, you put it up so a school can have like Writers of the Future, so they can have award ceremonies every year. It's the same thing with them. So they took all their money because remember, just their jewelry alone is worth close to $1 trillion. So they're just very, very wealthy. All those castles belong to them. They're bought and paid for hundreds of years ago. Bought and paid for. So just the interest alone on it is insane.
Okay.
But they do not have a say in British government.
The accounts of the sovereign grant is how the Queen and her household officially gets paid, and they pay the expenses. And the report of 2022 is 17% of the income to the royal family comes from the taxpayers.
Oh, that's nothing then. That's for doing common. That's what that is. That's paid appearances is what that is. That's for going here and going there and going there and going here. That's exactly what that is. That's just paid.
Oh, it was an increase of 17%. Hold on. It was an increase of 17% in 2021-22.
Jesse, what do you mean? Oh, no. You mean how much are they liked in Europe? No,
1.76. Here it is. It's $1.76 billion given from taxpayers in Europe. And that's an increase of 17% in 2021-2022.
So 1 billion in, let's see, that would be about what, 0.05% of the British income?
That's a lot of money. I don't care. That's a lot of
No, that's nothing. Right, especially for all the stuff that the Brits, what the royal family does for everybody. Come on, man. Just the stuff, just to allow everybody to get their frustration out is enough.
Books, the spare, like what?
No, well, let's see. They could sell.
I've been talking about.
There's all kind of stuff they could sell.
a week.
Because Megan's an idiot.
Narcissist.
She's an idiot.
She's a narcissist, but a lot
she
of
wishes she was a narcissist. She's an idiot. How did they possibly think that coming off talking about the royal family was going to be good?
Hold on.
The Brits really like the royal families. They're not anti-royal family right now.
Real quick, I'm going to flash this up on
that's
the
true,
chat,
Doctor.
Okay.
That's true. They did steal. There ain't no doubt, and not just from India. They stole jewelry from pretty much every country they ever took over. All through. They took
all of these people steal everything.
I mean, but they took it out of Africa. They took it out of the Middle East. They took it just the Crusades alone. Think about the Crusades, what they stole with the Crusades. That's the problem here. It's in the past. It doesn't matter now. Most of them people,
they're still doing it now, but they're doing it more digitalized than anything.
Well, they've got so much money now. It's ridiculous. I mean, if they could sell a couple of castles and finance the family for the next 10,000 years, I mean, it's like
give up property.
They're probably not. They'd probably give up jewelry first. And they do get rid of a piece of jewelry every once in a while, or they exchange it for something else. Man, I've seen the inside one time. There was I forgot who it was when Princess Di was alive, and they took her into one chamber, and there was multiple chambers. There were jewels everywhere, man. I mean, it looked like one of them fake things when somebody throws all them jewels, fake jewels. Oh God, it was ridiculous. Gold everywhere, diamonds everywhere, sapphires, emeralds, little, big, in between. A lot of these were just sitting. They weren't even in had been set or anything. I mean, this is just raw jewelry laying around because how much jewelry can the queen wear at one time? I mean, and she ain't a blinging girl, or she wasn't a blinging girl. So, and how much can Prince Charles wear? And how much do they let Camilla actually wear? does she get to go choose it, or does the king have to choose it for her? I kind of wonder about that. But yeah, there was tons of jewelry stole. There was tons of gold stole. There was tons of soul stole. We were talking about this today, slavery in the world. Black friend of mine was going on about slavery. I said, dude, you do realize that white people were slaves for like 2,000 years. And I'm like, you need to get your facts straight, man. I said the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, the Egyptian Empire.
I'll tell you what I like about
ridiculous.
I'll tell you what I do enjoy about European politics is Parliament.
Oh yeah,
I can watch Parliament sessions all day.
They throw shoes at each other, beat on tables. They're great. It's great. It's not like our little wussy politicians.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch. But at least they're getting involved. Because our Congress is all one-sided. This side's on that side, that side's on this side. They had a little fit because 20 GOPs got upset and wanted some stuff changed. That's how it's supposed to work. Other members are supposed to, we don't quite agree with that. We need to change things. Both sides are not supposed to agree all the time. I mean, all Democrats, we got lucky and seen Cena and what's his name disagree. So, it's about time. That's what the Congress is about each senator and each congressman standing up for their district and not for their party. But yeah, that's scary stuff. That doesn't happen often anymore. It's but anyway, I don't know why. And why don't we push that spy balloon over Canada? That spy balloon. I don't even know. I'm confused about why we're letting a spy balloon hover over the United States. It's been moving along. I mean, I don't understand why we would do that. And then somebody suggested it might have been carrying a virus. It had a package underneath it, and the government saying, no, it's a spy package. So why haven't we shot this thing down yet? Or why have we gone and towed it away? It's only at 60,000 feet. So I'm kind of like, what the hell's going on here?
Is it technically in our airspace? If it is, shoot it down. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been in our airspace for 3 days.
Yes.
It's or 2 days. I have no idea what is going on with this. Why Uncle Government decides that, we're just going to let this thing. And the first time I heard it, there's a big balloon floating across the United States. We think it might have been coming from China. I said, okay, first thing we should have done was shot it down, especially when it was over a body of water, so where it couldn't do any harm, and just shoot the damn thing down and see what's in it.
Yeah.
And, we were supposed to be meeting with the Chinese now we canceled the meeting. And still, this thing's aloft. I'm like, take the balloon down, or go up there, send something up there. We got jets that can go up 60,000 feet. Send something up there and shoot it down, or put a cable on it and tow the ass somewhere else. I mean, I don't I'm confused by this. Any other president would have wanted this. We would have just wanted it for the spy equipment, if nothing else. So I can't understand why our government. I can't
have
understand
some intel, and with today's technology, whatever it's seen, whoever's on the other end of it already has the data. So I mean, there's the cat's out of the bag. So.
I don't know why. Okay, so it's floating over Michigan, over nuclear silos. It's floating here. It's floating there. And you're right. I mean, you would think the NSA or the CIA would want to get their hands on it to see what kind of spy equipment's in the damn thing. Maybe it's some technology we'd be interested in. But for some reason,
it's nuclear.
But how do they know? It's 60,000 feet in the air.
We don't know, so we can't attack it. We can't blow it up. We can't. How are they going to approach this?
I think we have enough advanced detectors that they would know if there was a nuclear package aboard it. They would know. But if it is a spy package that's sending, data and pictures and video and audio to someone on the other end, we need to know how that's happening.
I don't know.
It's going to, at least.
It's just the whole thing is just so surreally weird. I have never seen something like this before. Any other time, anything intruding in American airspace would have been shot down. We'd either warned it off and said, you need to take it back immediately, or we'd have shot it down.
If this were World War II and that thing were flying over, it would have been already shot at already. It wouldn't have made it past California.
If Trump or Obama or Bush was in office, it would already be on the ground.
Yeah.
It would never even happen if it was Trump was in the office.
You're probably right. It wouldn't have happened. I agree with that. It wouldn't have happened if Trump was in office. Mm-hmm. But it is happening now. And what's funny? Biden's not even saying. Biden all day's been touting that the unemployment rate's 3.4. Biden, we got potentially problems floating over our head.
Hot air balloon, but Biden doesn't know.
Well, it is a hot air balloon. It's a I forgot what they call them, but they fill them up.
Well, it's not hot air. You're right.
It's a gas balloon. It's not a hot air balloon, but
it's probably helium, and it's probably what they call one of those high altitude type.
Yeah, and it's got one of them nylon wraps that lets it go into high altitude. I mean,
we've used them ourselves. It went undetected. Do y'all watch Monkey Works on YouTube? Monkey Works, WERX. He's fantastic. Always reviewing. Today he goes live, talks about air traffic control, talks about all the military stuff going in and out of the country, stuff that's going down to Guantanamo Bay. Listen, I watch him. He can see this balloon. You'll see. He will talk about Google balloons. He'll talk about Bing balloons. He'll talk about all these things. And this was this went under radar. Like no one knew this happened, and that's scary. That's the scary part. It's not even what's in that thing. How did this get over our airspace? Period. That's
I've heard a couple of scenarios about this. Military. One, NORAD said they've been tracking it since it was in the Atlantic. They said they've been tracking it. They just thought it was somebody's weather balloon.
Well, then they allowed it.
They allowed it. Yeah, that's what they said. Now, and I agree with you. That could be total and absolute bullshit. But they're not going to tell us the truth. They're just going to say, hey, but the question is, and a lot of generals have been asked this in the last 2 days, why is it still in the air? What the hell? Why is this still in the air? No one in this country, even the liberal media is like, hey, dude, there's like an enemy balloon floating.
That's why I think it's nuclear.
Or it could be a new COVID.
That's why I think it's nuclear.
Because, it could be a square package. We've been paying them to make diseases over there for 2 days. Yeah, it could be a lot of things. It could be smallpox. Most people don't realize this, but if you're have you had a smallpox vaccination? No, you haven't, have you?
I'm pretty sure I've had the chicken pox at least. I don't know about the injection.
So, most people, if you're under 40, you probably have
chicken
not
pox
had smallpox. Yeah, chicken pox everybody had when we were kids, but now they don't get it anymore. But smallpox
I'm 40. I'll be 42. I had smallpox, had all that.
No, you had a vaccination of smallpox? Okay, so that's what I thought. It was under 40. So anyone under the age of 40 in this country is not protected from smallpox. I know my son did, and he's 37. So if they release the smallpox, the breeding population of our country is dead.
Bill Gates warned us about this, and then the biolabs, because I pulled 9 of the biolabs off of the U.S. Embassy in Ukraine before they shut it all down. There was 23 biolabs total. I got 9 of them smallpox was in those biolabs in Ukraine.
Oh yeah, ain't no doubt about that. It's in several of them around the world. It's something that's not that hard to get the hands on.
Wait till you find out the DoD funding biolabs in Taiwan. I'm just waiting for China to take over Taiwan, because the biolabs there is way worse than the biolabs in Ukraine.
I don't know even if Biden will allow Taiwan to be taken over. It's not because of biolabs either. It has more to do with technology, but I don't think. See, America made a big mistake a while back. I don't know. I can't remember if it was Clinton. It might have been Obama, but we allowed Taiwan to we gave them particular chips that only they could make for the U.S. and for other countries. And I have no idea who thought it was a good idea to sell our microchips to China and Russia. I still can't fathom that. I just, they're not friends of ours. I mean, how ignorant can you be, especially to China? I'm like, why would you sell advanced microchip to China? I mean, they can't make them, and they hate us. And they don't hate us, but they don't like us. They want to be number one, and we're trying to help them to be number one. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
They are number one.
No, they're not even close to number one. But military wise, they're not even in our league. And that's the problem. Neither is Russia. The only thing Russia or China could do to stop us is to use nukes. There's no way they could stop us. And we don't need to field near as many people to do it either, especially with these new drone carriers we got that China wants to build, but they can't build because they can't get the microchips. We've been building drone carriers, so we can actually just we don't even have to send people anymore. That's how advanced we're getting. And then we got new class of submarines out. We got all kind of stuff right now, just to put this in perspective. So this has happened a few times over the years. Reagan did it first. Reagan was having dinner with I forgot who it was, with the Israeli president, when 4 nuclear submarines popped up around China. China had no idea they were there. A couple of years later, Bill Clinton did it. Donald Trump actually did it while he was having dinner with the guy with Xi Jinping. He was actually Xi Jinping was actually there, and we live. So they don't even know where our nuclear submarines are, and that's just dangerous for them. That means at any given time we can take China out without any real effort. We don't even have to use our continental ballistic missiles or our planes for that matter. We can take them out with the subs. We have plenty enough subs and missiles to wipe China off the face of the planet, and they know that. So it's not a game that they actually want to play with us. Russia's a little different because Russia has more.
Yeah, but hold on, we got Biden. Biden's in this now, though.
And Biden is not going to let him take Taiwan. He is actually the first president I heard stand up and say, "You will not take Taiwan. We will protect them if you try to invade Taiwan." I've heard Trump whom around it. I've heard Clinton whom around it. I heard Reagan and the whole bunch of them, but none of them ever said we would directly interfere.
So, you know why that?
Because we ain't giving them. We're not giving them chips. That's why.
It's because Biden and Hunter, the big guy is Biden, has all kinds of ties with China and things in Taiwan, just like how they've had ties with Burisma in Ukraine. And Burisma is just a slip.
And this might be the thing
the surface of Ukraine.
And this might be the thing that sinks. We've been talking about this for a couple of weeks on a couple of shows about Biden left this material laying around so Hunter could take pictures of it and use it and sell it to whoever, whatever government. And it kind of leaves Biden's hands clear. Not really, because Biden said, okay, look, I'm going to leave this sitting next to my Corvette. You just come out and take some pictures of it. And, they forgot about it and they sold it to whoever they're going to sell it to. And I'm sure this happened many, many, many times. And Hunter's laptop, there was a lot of stuff in this laptop that pointed to that. So this could be the proverbial rope around his neck. And the Democrats don't look like they're trying to help him all that much. I've been reading, the Democrats are behind him. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing Democrats kind of stepping back. I don't think they want him to run for a second term. And I think if they can use this to sink him, I think they might.
They're attacking a Republican president, Trump, which they raided. They're not raiding Obama, which he spent $36 million in lawsuit fines.
You know what? He may end up getting
Freedom of
raided.
Information Act.
They were talking about that yesterday.
They're not raiding Bush. They've not raided Biden. This is an inside job.
They've raided Biden. They've raided 4 of his places now.
Oh, not like Trump.
No, not like Trump. I agree, but the last 3 have kind of been like Trump.
Here's what they're doing, in my opinion. I'm trying to play both sides of this. Is that they've raided a Republican president, and now they're raided a Democratic president so that they can make it a fair playing ground in many aspects, and neither one of them will be able to have presidency later on. Neither one. Trump, they're going to come down and say Trump can't rerun because of this, and they're going to make it like it's fair because they've done this to Biden.
They can't do that. That's not how the law works. The only way they can keep Trump from running for president is to convict him of a felony.
Yes,
they're trying to do that. They're trying.
I haven't seen anything where any charges of any kind have been brought against Trump. Not against himself, his companies, other stuff.
No, they've brought charges against him, but things have been dropped in the court.
The January 6th stuff is garbage. That's not going anywhere. There's too many things. That's not going to go anywhere.
The people that are still in prison in D.C. over this stuff too.
Well, there is, and there are going to be people stay in jail over the Jan 6 stuff because there's no way to get them out now. But taking Trump out for stuff that clearly you can't. See, the problem for the Democrat was they could never find the smoking gun. They could never find a thing where Trump said, "Go out and do this" to anybody. None of his cohorts are going to. Yeah, none of his cohorts are going to ever say that he told them to go do that. And every post he made and every TV thing he made, he said, "Protest peacefully, then go home." I mean, he said it at least 100 times. You notice the news media never wants to talk about that, but he did. So I mean, you can't really say he was out there. He was pissed. He lost. I'd be pissed too. I'd be throwing shit around, kicking, because I'd have been feeling the same way he was. But still.
He's a sore loser.
He is a sore loser. In an election, he should have won.
I will tell you this: in Kentucky, I got 3 ballots mailed to me to go vote, mail-in ballots. I had 3 ballots, and I have them in my kitchen if I need to go get them. So there's always some kind of election fraud.
So technically, you could have voted 3 times. So,
huh?
You're saying you could have voted 3 times.
Yeah, I could have definitely voted 3 times. I don't know whether or not they would have been counted, or if I sent in a second one that would be discarded. But I had got 3 mail-in vouchers to my home that year in Kentucky.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
I went and voted in person though. So.
And I think there should be strict laws on you have to vote in person unless there's you're sick or in the military.
Yep.
This voting at home is just
you're deployed out of country or out of state.
It's just too easy to cheat like this. We've seen too much stuff, out there where the suspect, whether people prove or disprove, there's just a lot of suspect out there, and the country doesn't feel comfortable with this. You can say they cheated, you can say they didn't cheat. Really doesn't matter at this point. It just matters that the United States itself, as a nation, is not comfortable with this form of voting. Only less than 15% vote. So it's vote this way because the rest of the country feels like it's your duty. Take your ass out there and vote. I mean, it's not that unless you live in a place where it's snowed up to your butthole, but usually in November, it's not like that. So I like that, Steve. We need to send Chuck Norris over there. It's just go vote, people. Take pride in your country and go vote. There's too many places I hear, like in New Orleans, 29% turnout for the mayor's election. I mean, anybody could get elected that way.
I'll just tell you this. I have a friend that was a hardcore Democrat until the 2020 elections. She worked in Pennsylvania. She still does this. She was the majority inspector of elections in Philadelphia, which Pennsylvania is probably the most corrupt state, in my opinion, in the whole nation. Michigan's probably close, and then California.
We got like 6 hosts there.
But I'll tell you this. I wanted to make sure I got her title right because she is, in fact, and still holds the title of Majority Inspector of Elections. When 2020 happened, she's a hardcore Democrat all of her life. So she switched to Republican, and she tried over and over again to present, like she has video documentation. She has gone to court. She's testified and everything. Even her family's been targeted in some aspects with threats and things. And Pennsylvania is a George Soros state. George Soros has been funding that state down to Larry Krasner, to the other guy that just got governor. I can't remember his name. And they admittedly say that George Soros funds them. Like, they're not hiding it anymore. But she switched from Democrat to Republican after the 2020 election. She just could not handle the fraud and the lies and things. And she's been on my show.
George Soros is going to die really soon.
When are any of these people going to die?
I know it is crazy. Where the hell
Mitch
am I?
McConnell going to die?
Oh, there I am. Well, he's still got a ways to go yet, but Soros isn't going to be around much longer, and he's already said he's giving his money to charity. So all these Democrats who've been leaving on his money for a couple of days, well, we know.
Is that where he's going to give it to?
Antifa? No, he's not giving it to any political groups. That's what he said. And so far, everything he says turned out to be true. He's giving them he's trying to buy himself into heaven, is what he's trying to do. He knows he's going to die. Yeah, well, he's trying to buy it back. That's what he's trying to do. He's giving it to like charities. Things like the Cancer Foundation. He's going to give like $20 billion. He's supposed to be giving it to all kinds of people. I'm sure he'll leave a little nest egg somewhere for some Democrat, but maybe or maybe not. He seems to be Pelosi's gone. She's done.
He's going to give all that money to Pelosi.
We know Pelosi's husband's gay, so we're not going to, We got hit for that last week. We got a warning on was it Facebook somewhere? We got a warning for talking about him last week. And I wrote him a real sweet message like, this is a news show. We're talking about something that happened in Menshouse. The whole thing is questionable. We're not saying one thing or another. We're just questioning the events that went and took place. I said, when was that a problem? And then I got a light read about, well, we're just letting you know it could be. I said, well, it shouldn't be. And then they didn't write me back. So
don't talk about Pelosi. Don't talk about Clinton. Don't talk about
Pelosi is sexy, man. I seen her with a little hair thing in a shop that day. She's all hot.
If I was Pelosi's husband, I'd be gay too. So I get it.
Jay and I want to make you the Oreo in our cookie, Pelosi. Look at him. He's like, oh my God, Joe, shut up. Jay said, I'm cool. I'm good for it. Anyway, what do you mean you don't know who Nancy Pelosi is? Where's this messenger?
I need some alcohol tonight after that.
Where's the messenger? Okay, so Ryan Richards, I guess he's from New South Wales. Oh well, no wonder you don't know who Pelosi
he's in UK.
So nice to have you on board. We always love when people from Europe are hanging out with us and stuff, and Britain, the Brits and all. And Nancy Pelosi is one evil, no good, conniving bitch who should have retired.
She's the Meghan Markle of the United States. Okay?
Yes, no, she makes Meghan look like a sweetie cake.
That's probably true too.
It's
Meghan Markle was a yacht girl.
Meghan was, I feel for Meghan. Meghan had everything in the world, everything that any woman in the world could want. She had fame, she had popularity, she married a prince. I mean, this is like every little girl I've ever met's dream. And somehow or another, she effed it up. And Larry, I call him Larry. Harry, look, Harry. I can't say this because there's a lady present, but you are whooped, boy. Go out and do something, go out to the hunting range. You killed 25 people where? With your eyes closed on a helicopter? You wouldn't kill somebody face to face. You're a coward, especially if you had to do it from a helicopter.
No, I feel bad for Harry and some
I feel bad for him because he's warped.
Well, he was raised in a narcissistic family, and he ended up marrying a narcissist. And Harry, they have this little nickname for him, and I think other people call him H. And that's a disassociation of someone's name. Like, they don't even think that he's human in many aspects. When you start getting letters to reference yourself, I've learned this in therapy because my ex-narcissist, actually, she said he thinks he was a psychopath, would call me E. It's like they disassociate you and they don't make you like human. And you're just a letter. So when I started hearing that stuff in that documentary on Netflix, and I think other people has done that to him in his life, his friends and stuff, just reference him as an H. Like, it's not putting a name to that character. He's just a symbol.
Harry, don't feel bad.
And it's sad.
Half the people on my phone list is like MKJL, and that's what I call
MK Ultra. Is what he said.
I tell them, hey Jay, what's up? Hey L, what's up? Well, we started this. You know what? This is funny. Real quick story. Long time ago, way back when we first started getting into chat and radio and all, everybody was Agent J or Agent K or Agent L, Agent whatever, and it just stuck. So now everybody's LJS. It just depends who you are. Sometimes it's double S because if you're somebody new coming in, but it's weird. But we all know who each other is.
But that's a character.
That's true. It is a character. I understand what you're saying about Harry because, I heard him talking. He was doing an interview just recently. And he's got a tendency, so he's talking like we're all looking at the camera, or we're looking straight ahead. And sometimes we get to fiddling, but a lot of times you see him, he's always tilting his head down. Yeah. Man, that is just not good. Harry, I mean, I took a lot of courses on body language and voice stress and facial recognition. And dude, you got issues. I mean, I understand, you're despair. I do understand that. And that could be enough. And I understand you losing your mom. But you know what? I lost my dad at 16, dude. Trust me, I understand this.
Well, I don't think he just lost his mom. His family killed his mother.
Well, I don't know if his family did. I think what's his name did. We're not going to get in. That's another show entirely. And we can have a good discussion on that, though. At first, I really did, though. In the beginning, I kind of thought somebody in the Royals set this up. But then the French government had released a couple of documents that suggested that this was somebody from the prince's family, or from the king's family. Just an easy way to excel themselves, because really, they really didn't want no white woman being the princess over there. I can understand that,
Well, I don't think it's a white woman. I think who she ended up falling in love with after she was a princess.
Well, no, that's not what I mean. I'm talking about when she was with the Arab, the night she got killed. She had been dating that Arab, that king, for a while.
Yeah, and right. They did not want her to be with him.
He had children, so I think they just said, you know what, we can't have this ex-princess of wherever over here running our state. I can kind of understand where they were going with this.
Charles is just a narcissistic psychopath and couldn't handle somebody being with somebody else. Like, it doesn't have to be that deep.
Charles is just, but you know what? I don't. Oh, I shouldn't even say this on air, but I don't give Charles the wits that like I'd give his grandmother, or even his oldest son. He just seems to be like maybe too many banana daiquiris when he was in his 20s or something, or maybe when he was down there in Africa on tour. It just, maybe he got malaria. I don't know. He just doesn't seem like the sharpest.
He's too proud and too like a gentleman to be involved in something like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's just not that kind of person. Now, not to say somebody else in the family couldn't have done it, because you've got to remember, there's movement in all these families. When somebody gets kicked out or dies or leaves, there's an opening, and she was a blue blood. When she left, that was an opening.
Prince's side too. Someone might have wanted him dead, or wanted to send him a message, and
for some reason, as long as she was alive, they were always going to refer to her as the princess, and that bothered a lot of people on a lot of different sides. So and it could have been just what they said. It could have been the press.
You got that major interview that came out too, that she was saying, "I would like to be the princess of people's hearts," and she put down the royal family. She exposed them in many ways. Like, when you expose a narcissist or a narcissistic regime, like, they will attack you. They want the death of you. You never expose a narcissist to that level, and they will go full force.
They'll either go
false accusations. They'll take you to court. They'll do all kinds of legal stuff. But she exposed a lot, Princess Diana. She really, truly did.
Yeah, but she exposed. But what hurt her, and she exposed all that. But she never talked about the affair she was having with the guy early on. Now, if she would have fessed up about that, people would have gave more credit. But after she talked all this shit, and then we found out, oh wait, she's been having an affair with this, and this could be Harry's dad. Everybody started looking down on her. She hurt her own self
because he was having an affair. He even bought.
Actually, she had the affair first. No, she was the first one to screw around. No, she admits it. She actually admitted to it. She said
the night before they even got married, she found out that Charles bought Camilla a bracelet, like a diamond bracelet and things.
But she admitted that she got so tired of healing Camilla that she was the first one to screw around. She said it was almost her words.
Screwed around before they even got married.
Her words. She said that we're talking about after they got married. She said, I felt like I needed to give him an out. Her words. That's what she said when she fessed up, when she got busted for sleeping with the horse guy. She said, I felt like I needed to give Charles an out. That was her exact words. And she did. She got what she wanted. He got what he wanted. They got an out. That's what went on. He got to use that for whatever he wanted to use. And they just went on with it, and they got divorced. And yeah, it sucked for the kids, but both of them were actually happier divorced. That's a bitch part.
But he's known Camilla way before he.
Yeah, he loves Camilla. He's been in love with Camilla
before Diana.
Long before Diana.
He couldn't marry Camilla because she was divorced at the time. He had an affair before before. Now she might have said that. I don't know if she said that or
No,
not.
they're talking about after they
But
got married. Who
I don't
screwed
care.
around first?
He screwed around while you're engaged. It doesn't matter. It's not if he screwed before you get married, you're gonna screw after you get married. Like
You never know.
She should have never married him. I'm telling you, if a guy,
Wait
I
a
don't
minute.
care.
Do
If
you
a
really
guy
think
comes
she
to
had a
me,
choice in this? I mean, come on. Do you
I don't
really
think
think?
so.
I mean, what was she, 19 at the time? She had no choice. That's what I really
saw
feel
that
about
live on
Diane.
That was a huge wedding. Yeah, there's no backing out of that.
Yeah, that's what I feel most sorry for. Diane is she did what she did because she had no choice. She obviously didn't love the guy from day one. You could see it in her face. She was in love with the surroundings and being a princess, but she wasn't in love with Charles.
I think she was in love with him in the beginning.
No, I don't think she's in love with Charles. I think because
she
every
was
time she was
infatuated with the
around him,
lifestyle.
she looked away a lot of times, looked down a lot of times. When you're in love with somebody, you're like staring at him and looking them down. That's not what she was doing.
She was shy in the beginning.
She was shy, but she wasn't that shy.
She was a young girl. She was 18. She was young.
But she was a blue blood.
I mean,
so
how old was he? 30? Early 30s?
I thought he was
30s?
older than that, actually. I'd have to go look. I actually thought he was older than like 36 or 38 or something. But don't people, because I could be wrong. It's it's just a shame that someone like her had to die for whatever reasons. It's just a shame. I don't know. I mean, I know she was making a lot of enemies along the way, getting into stuff she shouldn't have got into, but she thought she was untouchable because her relationship to the royal family and to the Arab family, she thought she was untouchable. And she could do whatever she wanted. She could go out and aggravate people with landmines and tear up this and tear up that and tear up all these people.
What do you mean aggravate them with landmines? Because she went and tested landmines.
That's what I'm saying. She was sticking her nose in the business that a lot of different countries and a lot of different militaries thought she had no business sticking her nose into.
Yeah, because she was exposing.
Yeah, and she was making enemy after enemy after enemy after enemy.
Well,
it could have been any one of them.
When you bring out your enemy, that's what you do when you start.
And then your enemy kills you, and then that's the end. You don't have to worry about it anymore because you're dead. You have to be smarter than that. She should have built alliances. She should have had a big group that backed her and helped her. She trusted the press. Why the hell would you trust the press to ever back you up?
She didn't trust the press. She manipulated the press. I will say that. And
I think the press manipulated her a lot. I've seen her do stuff that I don't think she would have done if the press wouldn't have been involved. It's they're out there. It's kind of like when you're the kid and all your friends are egging you on. It's pretty much what the press was doing. They wanted her to do stuff. It's news for them. And a lot of the press acted like they were her friends when they obviously weren't. But she never built a big network of friends. See, like me, when I get into stuff, I have a big network of friends, lots and lots of them. So when shit goes down, there are going to be a lot of people you have to answer. It's not going to just be me. And she was in a position that she thought she was untouchable because of the people she was hanging out with. And she should have been.
Here's PBS reported while she was alive, her adeptness at manipulating the media was widely recognized, as was the face that during the latter years of her loveless marriage to Prince Charles, the tabloids had been one of her greatest weapons. That's what I remember Princess Diana as.
Yes, and how often was she in it? So if you're good at manipulating, then you're not going to be in those type of medias at all.
No. If you're great at what you're doing, you're going to be in the media, and you got to.
I've seen lots of stories about Diane, and most of them were not flattering. So if you're great at manipulating,
I'm different. When she died, I was a sophomore in high school when she died. And I was all about the tabloids back then, the Inquirer, the Sun, all of those 16 magazines, all those People magazines, all that stuff. And everyone that I remember, like I cried when Princess Diana passed and automatically thought she was murdered, even in a car accident at that young age.
Well, that's possible, but nobody's going to ever going to prove it. But the British tabloid shredded her daily. The Europeans, they shredded her daily, just like they did to Merkel. They shredded her daily. They love shred. The only one they leave alone is Kate. They're scared of Kate for some reason. I don't know what it is. Maybe Kate's got some shit on him or something, but they're scared of Kate. but they weren't scared of Merkel, and they weren't scared of Diane. They shredded Diane daily. And I actually felt for they had all kind of horrible stories about it. Remember, they were out taking pictures of her when she was screwing around and when she was in the clubs, falling down, tripping over shit. They had horrible pictures of her. I mean, there was just a lot of bad press. The United States might have treated her okay, but not the Brits. The Brits were like, because the Brits didn't like her. They feel like she cheated on Charles.
The Brits did not like Princess Diana.
Not after they feel like a lot. Well, then why did they get shredded every day? The tabloids are only going to print.
I don't know. I believe the Brits mourned over Diana, and I still think they.
Yeah, I'm sure some of them did. No, I think most of them moved on from Diana.
The citizens of England were heartbroken, but I had heard also some stories that she wasn't so kind and nice to like the staff. Like
she wasn't.
Made the food and did the laundry, and the building staff, wherever they went, didn't matter.
She was a snob. That was what the problem was for her, and most people didn't realize it, but all the press did. She was a snob. She was a blue blood. That's the only reason she got to marry Charles, is because she was a blue blood. That's the whole reason they speak about technically
tabloids in Europe at the time too. Do you know?
Well, there was a lot of major tabloids in Europe.
No, the one that owned the group of tabloids, they called it
BBC?
the Mirror, but he owned the group of them, all tied up under
the BBC owned a bunch of them too.
Well, he owned the Mirror, but it had the Paragon Press, the Nimbus Press, the Prentice Hall. He actually owned a lot of our American presses with our school books growing up. Do you know who that was?
No.
Robert Maxwell. Does that name sound familiar?
Nope, not even a little bit.
Ghislaine Maxwell's father. Does Ghislaine Maxwell sound familiar?
None of them sound familiar.
That's Jeffrey Epstein's mistress that helped traffic women that's in prison right now.
Oh, poor babies. And she's doing all this jail.
Robert Maxwell, if you all understand, who worked for the Mossad, the Jewish mob, and Israel, and he owned a lot of the tabloids during this time, and he also owned the publishing company for our American books that was published from the 1960s to the 1980s. That's anti-Germany.
I'm thinking 1980s. God, it was so long ago. Jesus.
Yeah,
I don't want to think about what I was doing right there.
I remember them well. College years are a bit fuzzy, but high school years not so fuzzy.
I was thinking too, it tells you how sick our press is, because she gets ragged, she's dying, and they're in there taking pictures of her. Every one of them reporters should have went to jail for that. There should actually be laws against that, but no.
He owned McGraw-Hill. That makes, if you all know what that is, McGraw-Hill Publishers that published all of our school books. That's who he owned, that company.
Well, at least he didn't publish the ones down here, so that's a plus.
It's anti-Nazis, which makes a lot of sense if you are Mossad.
Well, that's good. Anti-Nazis is a good thing.
We're funding them right now in Ukraine, but that's okay. That's another topic.
What do you mean? Anti-Nazi is good. We don't want Nazis. Anti is a good thing. We don't want nobody pro-Nazi. That's just making life worse. I think there's a lot of things that people overthink because, how can I say this? Words give things power when they don't necessarily have any real power. So we talk about this all the time, and this is an easy thing for me to prove. Everybody's always telling me this group's going to take over, that group's going to take over, and this group's going to take over, this group's going to take over. Well, they're not, because they can't beat each other. That's the real problem here. All these groups for which have been around for hundreds of years, who have been trying to build their they've got people everywhere in all countries, all over our country, all our politics and other politics. The problem is so do all the other groups. So they can't ever step each over. There's no way for them to take the other group out. All of them are sitting in basically the same position, and none of them want to get together and work with each other. So we're at an impasse now. How do you get past the Bilderbergs are not working with Skull and Bones? Skull and Bones is not working with the Templars, and so on and so forth. They're just not going to. A lot of it's because of religious beliefs and difference in the way they think things should go. So they have a fundamental problem on how to change the world in the direction they want to change it in. It came to a standstill probably in the mid 1800s. It's probably when it rolled in when the U.S. was gearing up to become the most powerful planet on Earth.
Before we went bankrupt and sold ourselves back out to the British Empire.
Oh, the Brits. Yeah, I love the Brits. I'm telling you.
I like the British people. I don't like how their government's set up. But
well, governments are governments.
I don't like how America's any government to be honest. Yeah, I don't like a two-party system. So
well, it's not supposed to be a two-party system. And you know what? It only became a two-party system in the last 75 years.
George Washington even warned us about the two-party system.
Well, because we weren't a two-party system until recently. There used to be 3 or 4 parties. There was the Whigs.
I don't believe in any party system. I don't believe there should be an option. I don't think that it should be labeled underneath somebody. This person's Democrat. This person's Republican. This person's independent. This person's whatever, patriot. I don't care. Like, there should not be a party system.
Unfortunately, there's no way to get around with that because people think differently.
Yeah, and well, I agree with Emily though, because I've spoken about this before on the show. When I registered in the state of Pennsylvania to get my new driver's license and all that, I was allowed to register for voting, and they said, "What party do you want to be?" And I was like, "I'd like to register as a libertarian." And they said, "Oh, well, if you do that, you can't vote in presidential elections." And I was like, "Excuse me?" And he's like, "Yeah, you can vote in state stuff and city stuff, and that's it." And I was like, "I can't vote for president." He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, well, that's not fair. And so I chose another one, and one of the only two, red or blue. That should not be a requisite for being able to register. You should be able to.
I like to register one party
and vote the other party. And you shouldn't have to declare any party. Period.
Well, you shouldn't have to declare a party. That's just so they can count. But I agree, you shouldn't have to register. You shouldn't have to say you're a party. Your vote's a private vote. What do they need to know what party? All they need to know is you're voting. So, that shouldn't be like that. And in some of the southern states, it's not. You don't have to say what party you are. You can just vote. Not all of them, though. And in Louisiana, it's weird. It goes by counties. I mean, by parishes. Some parishes, it don't matter. Some parishes, you actually got to say.
Don't they do that in Ohio, too? They do that parishes in Ohio, too, I think.
I don't know. Last I checked, we were the only ones, but you never know.
They're called counties in Ohio.
Yeah.
I heard counties, but I think they vote by parish.
It's so it's a weird thing for us, but the system has to change, but it can't change the way it is right now. And there's no way to force a change right now because the votes are too close. The media has done such a good job of dividing the country up that it's too close. And then there's another problem. Even though the Republicans managed to take the House, they had barely anybody came out and voted. They were way down. If everybody would have came out and voted, they might have took the Senate.
Why is that? Why is voting so down? Did a lot of people just give up?
People don't believe. Yes, a lot of people don't believe it's going to make a difference, and a lot of times it doesn't.
My mom gave up.
If you were a liberal under Barack Obama, you thought first black president, the world's going to change, everything's going to be different. He did manage to get health care, but that was it. And then
the health care sucked under
Obama. Wait. I was going to say, let me finish. So he gave everybody in America health care. And how did the Americans replay him? They gave the House to the Republicans. And what did they do in the next election? Even though they gave him the presidency, they gave the Senate to the Republicans. So for 6 out of his 8 years, he had no control. Out of 4, he had completely no control. All he could do, with the Senate and the House, they could, vote 2 times and it's a law. They didn't need Obama. They could just run it past him a couple times and then make it law themselves.
Let me tell you about Obamacare with me. This is my testimony. I've only said it one other time. I was a vice president of operations for a crude oil and hauling company during this time. All right. I get laid off because of the Obama stuff that he did to the oil industry. I got laid off. I got a good package from that, but I ended up having to get insurance that I couldn't afford. I applied for the insurance, no money coming in because my company let me go. They wanted me to pay $375 or no, not $375. Well, $375 every week. It was weekly based. $375 every week for health insurance. No money coming in whatsoever. I had a $9,600 deductible, and then I had so much. It ended up being like $23,000 out of pocket. Then I couldn't afford it. So I opted out of insurance. I went from where I worked in healthcare. I applied for financial aid through the hospital because they have to write off so much. I got approved 90% out of the hospital. I only had to pay 10% of anything hospital doctor's visit through King's Daughters. So that's what I went with. So then when I filed taxes, I was getting $8,000 in return. Well, then I was penalized because I didn't get insurance under Obamacare, and I ended up having to pay our government $4,000 extra for that insurance stuff. They robbed me, is what happened.
They robbed a lot of people. So because it's not even insurance.
Sucks.
Obamacare for most people, all Obamacare was what we call catastrophic care. So if you were poor, down here you could get Obamacare for $166 a month, but the deductible was $7,000, which most people who are only paying $160 a month don't have, and it covered almost everything, but still. We call it catastrophic coverage. It's not stuff you could use to go get a checkup or.
Well, they based it off my income that I wasn't getting anymore, and then they penalized me off my income that I wasn't getting anymore.
Yeah, they did that to a lot of people. That's what I'm saying. They did it to a lot of people. Me.
Government owes me.
And then if you were poor, that's how they treated the poor people. It was never healthcare like, oh, I can go see my doctor every week or stuff like that. Like the kind I got, I can go see him anytime I want. It doesn't cost me anything. They actually, like that. I go see my doctor. The more, the better. They don't even care. They're like, yeah, go see your doctor. We want you to stay healthy, so we don't have to pay any big bills. And that's the way a insurance should be. They got all kind of things where they'll tell you if you go do this or go do that, you get benefits. They even give you money sometimes. It's they want you to take care of yourself. They want you to be healthy. But a friend of mine has the Christian plan. Where if you're a Christian, they have this big insurance plan. It's I guess it's more like sharing than it is anything else. So everybody's putting in a premium. If somebody gets sick, then it pays them. It pays each person. It's actually pretty cheap from what I heard. And I heard it's pretty good. No, Danny, I can't join. I'm not a Christian man. No. I wouldn't rip somebody off like that. Besides, I have good insurance. I'm not complaining. Right now, I have for about 5 years.
I got good insurance now. I'm not complaining. When all this stuff went down with Obamacare, it just ticks me off.
Well, because it was never meant to be insurance. It was meant to be catastrophic coverage. So they could say, everybody's got insurance now. No, everybody's got catastrophic coverage.
My base pay for insurance a month when I got laid off and didn't have insurance anymore, but they based it off my income, was $1,500 a month. Then I had almost $24,000 in deductible and out-of-pocket fees for the year. Couldn't afford it. So I did the thing at my hospital where I only got 10%. I only had to pay 10% anytime I went to the ER. Any of my things I had that year, my son included, any doctor's visits, I just paid 10%, usually like $20. They wrote everything else off. Then I file taxes and I'm penalized, and they take all of my tax money, and then I owe them $4,000.
Yeah, that sounds like Obamacare to me. That sounds like liberal math to me. That's how liberal math works. That's what that is. Well, I was listening to Jean Pierre the other day going on about Republicans want to cut Medicaid and Social Security. I'm like, and what? And I've never heard any Republican anywhere say that. I don't understand why they just don't sue the White House for even saying that kind of stuff, because I can't find anywhere they said that. And I can't see why they want to do that, because it means they wouldn't win the next election. So, I know it's liberals good to say a lot of stuff that for some reason the Republicans don't challenge or don't challenge enough. Trump did, because Trump was an ass, but if DeSantis was in there, he would be an ass. See, DeSantis would be like that too.
No, the same people that funded Obama funds DeSantis. I'll be right back.
DeSantis is way bigger ass than Obama is. Poor Obama just didn't have any experience, man. That's what the problem. I know, Carol, I seen that a few minutes ago. So real quick about Uncle Obama. The problem for Obama was a basic problem. This guy was a community organizer. It wasn't even worth $1 million yet when they found him. His wife was a lawyer. They both were attorneys, but he was a community organizer, organizing community, the children and different events in the community. That's what he did. And then somebody talked him into running to a Senate in Chicago, and he won. And he was exactly 6 months a junior senator. I don't even know if he actually voted, and he got to be president. And then y'all wonder why the country got so effed up for 8 years.
Yeah, and everyone said, "Oh, he was a great senator. He was a great senator." He wasn't a great senator. He didn't finish his first term.
I know. I mean, he didn't even finish his first year.
6 months in. I was that great. Oh, great. He quit.
And the only reason he got elected was because he was black. It wasn't because of any other thing. He had no experience.
He
There was
all that
nothing.
charismatic
There was
for
nothing
once.
that stood him out to make him think he was going to be a great president.
That's
And then
not
wait,
necessarily
he
true.
gets the
He was a
Nobel Peace
smoker.
Prize.
He's one of the last smokers we've had. Most of the other ones are not smokers. He was a smoker.
Yeah, he smoked cigarettes, and we're pretty sure he smoked weed.
Pretty sure.
Because I still remember this. They got the guy on the moped. He was at the White House gate, and they're like, "And what are you doing here, dude?" And fortunately, some press was there. He said, "I was making my weekly delivery to marijuana to the president." And the guy's like, "Wait, what?" And the press starts. He was busted, but that doesn't really bother me. You get high in a White House, big deal. It's as long as he didn't push no nuclear bombs, I'm okay. And he killed a lot of people, though. I mean, I don't understand how he got the Nobel Peace Prize. He was killing people by the droves in the Middle East. I mean, he hadn't even been president, a year? We were giving Nobel Peace. We were in war with Iraq and Iran. I mean, in Afghanistan. We had wars going in both places.
Do you remember what his platform was before he got elected?
Yeah, I mean, in the war.
I will end the war, and I will not start any war. What did he do? He not only started a new one, but he bolstered the old one.
I was like, I think in the end he finally ended the Iraq war, but still, I mean, dude, you were killing 10,000 people a week. You can't go around. How did you get the Nobel Peace Prize? And unfortunately, for a lot of people on the planet, the Nobel Peace Prize went down the drain for a lot of people. We got to thinking, really, you're going to give it to somebody who doesn't deserve it? Okay, just because he's black. I mean, I thought those kind of things in our country were illegal to start off with.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do stuff like that. You're supposed to take care of your country and do the things not based on color. But I see the Democrats do the same thing. I mean, so I heard Obama now. I've lost count. So I remember when he was running around before he got his VP. Oh, it's going to definitely be a black woman. Definitely going to be a black woman. Okay, well, that's illegal. You're hiring somebody based on color. Then a Supreme Court justice, oh, yeah, she's going to be a black woman. She's going to be a black woman. First off, why are you hating on black men so much, Obama? I'm a little confused by that. But she got to be a black woman. So, on she goes. And then not only did Jean Shapiro have to be a black woman, but she had to be a gay black woman. So I'm thinking, dude, you're hiring people based on sex and color. How is he getting away with this? If you or I did this, if I did that in my company, I'd be getting sued 8 directions to hell, man. If I did that on this station, I'd be getting sued 8 directions to hell. What's that, Doreen? No, Emily's Friday. What time Friday? 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock your time, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
We're trying to get her on another day somewhere so she can catch up her schedule, but we'll have to work that out. We'll let you know when we find out. No, come check her out. No, she's doing good. Her show's doing good.
What the frick live?
We'll don't worry. We'll get her trained sooner or later. It takes time, man. It takes time. It takes time to train all new hosts, man.
What I need to train on? Tell me about it.
No. And wait, we got someone named Diana come in. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I thought you were Diana. You were talking about Diana. Wait, what was the last words? Has something happened? Is that what the fireman said? I didn't know. I honestly didn't know.
The fireman said, "My God, what has happened?" It was allegedly.
Yep, that's what she wrote. Yes. Yeah. Why the press was. See, right there, if this would have been my mother, or if this would have been my wife or ex-wife or anybody, I would have had to go home, get Martha out of the car, and go shoot me some SOBs. I would not, see, in America, there's a law against that now. Ever since that guy was taking pictures of those kids drowning in that car and wasn't helping them, we passed a law that if you watch and don't help, you can go to prison. It's an accessory to murder. Because, too many people want to sit there with their phone and record it while this person's dying. Really?
That happens all the time. Well, look at all this stuff that happened with these 5 police officers killing that other dude in Memphis.
Yes. That was another funny one because for like days and days, they wouldn't say what color the policemen were. And then finally Fox, broke the story and said,
let me tell you, I'm going to break another story right here, right now.
Go ahead.
I cannot find these police officers on the payroll.
I haven't looked. I don't know.
We can't find them. They're definitely not on the payroll in 2022.
So wait, what county they're in? What county? Were they first off? Were they state sheriff or city police? I don't know. City police, okay.
And I cannot find them on the payroll. All of them, Mark, have the same tattoo, scorpion. And I honestly think that these were either crisis people that they were hired, crisis actors, or this is gang and this was a Mark thing and the chief of police is a part of it.
It could have been paramilitary. You find that a lot in the police departments. All the brothers will get together who
all
were in one platoon.
5 of them are not on the police payroll. Well, I can't find it. Now, if anybody's listening to this, they can find it. Please message Joe or message the network. I'd like to know. I'm not perfect, so if somebody finds it, I want to know.
You know, Christopher, what city were they in? Chris was just asked. I don't know. Memphis. Oh, wait a minute. I got several friends in Memphis. I don't know. I got several friends in the police department in Memphis. Yeah, I'll find out. I'll ask. But I did notice that before because we were in New Orleans a couple of weeks ago, and there was 7 cops standing, and they all had this little red heart right here on their left forearm, left muscle. And I asked the guy what it was. They were paramilitary, but you see that a lot because a lot of them leave the military and become cops, which is kind of scary to start off with. Now, you know, if this new bill gets passed, that they're trying to get through the House and the Senate, police force is going to change a lot. No more military gear whatsoever. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
I'm just going to say here, I do support the Men in Blue. I love our local police department.
I do. I got several family members in it.
Yeah, you know, they work really, really hard. There's always these bad apples, though. No matter what department you work in, no matter what field you're in, there's always these bad apples. Well, but, you know, what if this was 5 white police officers against a black man? Or what if it was 5 black police officers and a white casualty? Like, you know, it's just.
Well, the thing of it is because they were black, it took a lot longer for the media to actually say
Black Lives Matter's not doing anything.
No, because there's nothing to it. It's black on black crime. It's typical crime in the United States, black on black crime. There's nothing BLM can do because the officers were black. And it's the reason the media don't want to make a big deal out of it. Yeah, but the media don't want to make a big deal out of it because they don't want you to think black cops are going around killing people.
They can't ramp up the ratings by putting race into it, you know?
Yeah, so, when it's white cops on black, man, they racist. And they can go on and on and on about it. But I hate to say it.
This was a target hit for some reason. This guy rubbed somebody the wrong way, something. He was an active skater. He, as far as I know, he doesn't have does he have a background being arrested before? I don't think so.
You know what? That's weird you said that because I heard 2 different reports today riding home. So one of them said that he had a couple of arrests, but the guy said he thought they were minor arrests. Mm-hmm. And the other guy said that he didn't think there was any arrest, but he also said that he was having problems actually getting the report from the police department. He said he had requested it, which all media. Where'd I go? Sorry, I just disappeared for a minute. Anybody can request any media if you're actually official media like we are.
Okay, he had a reckless driving. He had one prior. I'm just looking this up. He had one prior on January 7th. This past reckless driving in Memphis. That's it.
That's not really much. That's not really much.
So, his family don't seem to be connected. This is what media is saying. So. I don't know. He rubbed somebody the wrong way. This is not how he got ambushed too. It was in a pretty decent neighborhood. It was a nice neighborhood. He's an active skateboarder. Something does not go well with me. And I started researching these police officers and just to look, because I always follow the money. I'm like, are these people being paid? I can't find them on the payroll. Can't find them. All 5 of them.
Now, I know I got a couple of friends on the Memphis Police Department, and I have. For me, I'm lucky because my stepfather was a captain on the state police here in Louisiana, and over the years, he introduced me to a lot of people. And one of the guys he introduced me to is the one where I learned how to do voice stress, and I went to their course. Yes, I went and took it with the state troopers people. I'm damn good at voice stress too. I'm actually good at all of it. Now, I have several courses with this stuff, but because
well,
of him, I know quite a few
get
officers.
somebody from Memphis on the show, Joe.
Well, I know. Well, we can try. I know, but over the years, I've met quite a few officers. And believe it or not, the UFO show, for some reason or another, has attracted a lot of policemen. A lot of them have big interest in it because of some of the stuff we talk about. And it's really funny. And over the years, I met quite a few of them. And I got a little group. There's about 4 of them I know that work in Memphis. Different thing they do. One's in the sheriff and 2 are city, and 1 is a trooper. But they're all stationed around Memphis or in Memphis, and they're interesting guys. I got to say. I know I've met a lot of policemen over the years. I mean, a lot. It's really weird. And I've even met local ones because a lot of times I have my gun on me locally. So they always say, "Can I see your gun?" I'm like, "What?" I freaked 2 cops out one night. He asked me, "Can I see your gun?" I got your fingerprints next time I'm shooting. It was like, whoa, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Y'all, this is just the conspiracy brain in me. I did have a news alert today that I did not get. And well, I get it on my computer. I have these alerts, and then I typed in Tyree Nichols, and it said alert. And on here, so I clicked on it. It said 4 out of the 5 officers charged in the Tyree Nichols death had prior violations at work. My opinion on this, they didn't have prior violations at work. They had prior violations because they're part of a gang and they were never hired. This was a hit. And I'm telling you, they were hired to do this and also be possibly actors. They were not on the payroll. But please, we have a lot of listeners here. If you can find them on the payroll, message me. Message Joe.
Hold on a second.
These were gang people. This is a specific hit. There's something going on here.
Well, it might not exactly be. That might be something else. But it's when you think about this guy, and it could have been something drug related. He might have been running drugs for somebody or one of them. It wouldn't be the first time I seen cops. Well, that's not exactly gang. Cops sometimes have their own little thing that they do.
They all collude in these gangs, these Mexican cartels, these whatever you want to do.
Well, I don't know, because places like where I live, gangs are illegal. So, and by the way, in case y'all noticed, ladies and gentlemen, if you're in New Orleans, they consider a gang 3 or more people, and they will arrest you. They do. Well, they do not play. A lot of the big cities now do not play anything with gangs. They will arrest you immediately and put you in jail. And it's mainly because the citizens will vote them out now. So now they've gotten a little paranoid about what's going on. It happens a lot, but down here we have really strict gang laws. I mean, they will put your ass in jail for even looking like a gang. By the way, gang colors are completely illegal to wear. If you wear them, you can go to jail for up to 2 years for even having gang colors on. LA needs to adopt this law. But the Deep South is way different. So I always tell this to people. The Deep South is one country, the middle of the country is another country, and the northern part of the country is another country. It's really like 3 different countries because we look at things different in 3 different parts of the country.
Time out. Is it illegal to wear those colors, or if you're wearing those colors,
displayed as a gang color?
Hold on. Yeah. It gives them probable cause to search. It's
well,
not illegal
it
to
depends.
Wear those colors.
No. If it's displayed as a gang color, it's illegal and they can arrest you. If it's displayed as just a color, in other words, if you just like put a red whatever bandana out your pants leg and you're walking around, no. And that can be used as probable cause to arrest you. But if you have it wrapped in the 3 gang places they wrap, elbow, head,
it gives them probable cause to search.
Then they can arrest you. No, they'll arrest you for it down here. You'll probably do 30 days for it. Because you just said you're a member of the Gullah. Yeah, because
that sounds like communism.
No, the gangs down here wear their colors in a specific way. They wrap their head, they wrap their elbows in one knee. If you've done that with the dual colors, they'll arrest you. No, probable cause of search is if you just got the colors hanging on you, and they may let you go when they stop.
I mean, because of bikers, like we have a lot of biker groups here in Kentucky. So are they considered gang? And they wear certain colors too.
Down here they can stop.
So biker.
So this is a good thing for you. Listen, so if you're riding a bunch of bikes down here, they have to be broke up in sets of 2s. So if you're riding, you can ride a big long line. But you have to be 2, and there's got to be X amount of space between you. Because if any closer than that, they consider you a gang. They will stop you. It's just something. Louisiana bad gang problem for a while, and they're not going back.
Well, that gives them probable cause to stop or probable cause.
Oh yeah, if you're just riding or acting like that. Well, no. If you display,
but they can't just automatically arrest you, right?
Listen. There's a law. There's for
I'm
3
asking.
different gang colors. If you wear them the way the gangs wear them, they can arrest you for 30 days. It's actually a law they passed. It's on the books. It's a legal law, and they passed it because anybody who was wearing those colors were gang related. So they would just basically challenge you to go out there and do it. That way they could get
Prejudice.
people. It is prejudice, but it don't work anymore because nobody wears them anymore. They've wiped out like the Latin Kings. Oh, they're gone. They wiped them out. The only thing that's left is the mob. Even they're almost wiped out because too many things.
The Mexican cartels. How's the Mexican cartels down there?
There is none, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because they have found out in Louisiana, and Mississippi, and Alabama, and Florida, it's cheaper and better to go legal. You can make far more money, and because they've made so much money now that
aren't you taxed when it's legal?
Yeah, your tax when it's legal, but they don't care because they've made so much money now that it's too dangerous to be doing anything illegal anymore. Because if they get busted, they're going to lose their money and they're going to jail for life. So they have learned it's best to take that money, reinvest it into businesses, and let them grow. And you'll see, like that. Do you know?
I'm going to plug my show in right tonight. Tonight I had undercover agent Ignacio Esteban that worked in the cartels for 30 years almost. On What the Frick Live. Please, everybody go listen to that show.
Oh, they're bad.
No, he worked in America.
Yeah, but they're bad
with the Mexican cartels.
Oh yeah, there's a few in Mexico, especially out west.
We got El Mencho here in Kentucky like crazy. Chapo.
You got crappy cops, and we wouldn't even tolerate that. We'd be like out of our city, out of our state.
The border states and poverty-stricken states get hit the most. And we even El Chapo's son got arrested not too long ago. But everybody go listen to What the Frick Live. Okay, I had a really great guest, and he's going to be coming back on. He's wrote 50 books. 50
Damn.
books.
Wow.
He must be friends with Nick Redfern. Jesus.
Yeah.
He has a lot of intel.
I was just looking at Nick's bibliography tonight, as a matter of fact.
Go ahead. We sorry, Emily. Go ahead.
Well, that's okay. We talk a lot about the Mexican cartels that come through Texas, Florida. We think of Border Patrol in many aspects with the Mexican border, but it's far greater than that, and it's through airplanes and even private planes, like we talked a lot tonight about many things, and he's going to be coming back on to talk about specific cases. We didn't get into specific cases.
Specific, when you get into that kind of stuff, it's always
fun.
But
he's worked in it since the 1980s. That's the Iran-Contra or Contra-Iran, whatever you want to call it, with not Richard Nixon, but with Reagan. He has many years. He has many years.
Karine is obviously from New Orleans. She said, yeah, we don't allow any of that kind of stuff because our politicians are too greedy.
The politicians probably were those
our politicians are so corrupt. They don't allow for any other kind of corruption. Hey, what you doing, baby?
Here's Bill.
I agree. We don't allow any like corruption.
I didn't know he was in here.
I'm thinking about getting a cat.
I have 3. They're a pain in the butt.
Yeah, they can be.
But your politicians probably wear those colors. That's why they outlawed it.
Yeah, Janine, look, let me tell you something. No, crime is bad in New Orleans. I mean, sometimes it competes. Sometimes it competes with Chicago. No, it's bad. But it's weird bad. First off, we did have a thing with these little teenagers running around stealing cars all over the place. And they were just stealing left and right. No, they were stealing while you're in the damn thing. And then they kind of cracked down on that. But mostly the crime down here is black on black, white on white. And it's usually drug related, or it's not really gang related. Most of the gangs moved to Houston after Katrina. Again, because if they see, it's weird down here. So if you say you kill somebody, you get in trouble, you can get X amount of years. If they think it's gang related, it triples the amount of time you get. Wow. So yeah, it's like I'm saying, it's a non-play thing down here. We're just not tolerating. Mississippi is a poverty state. It's on the border of the Gulf of Mexico, and they don't play either. They will put your ass in jail 4 times as long.
I don't think of international gang warfare I don't think of New Orleans.
You know why? Because the rednecks down here will shoot their asses. Take your little gang out of my city because we will kill you.
When I think of international gang mafia related things, I think of Chicago. I think of Miami. I think of New York. I think of Houston or Texas in general.
But yet,
right
New Orleans is the city that controls the Mississippi River, the most imports and exports in the entire country.
When I think New Orleans and that kind of criminal activity, I think of you ain't from around here, boy.
Yeah, pretty much how it is too.
I think about that in West Virginia. Wrong turn.
Like, what are you doing here? Well, Mississippi's scary because I always tell people this: if you come down to Mississippi and you stay below interstate, you're going to be treated well. Everybody's going to love you. You're going to think like, "Wow, they're not ignorant rednecks down here." Yeah. If you go to the middle of the state, I could go to the middle of the state, and I'm from here to be like, "Boy, what you doing up here? You better go back down south."
Has there ever been a Louisiana president?
Yeah, there has actually. I can't think of his name right now.
I was just going to tell you, I love Kennedy.
He was from the Whig Party.
I wanted Kennedy to be Speaker of the House.
Well, there's Kennedy, and Grizzly. Is that his name? So all three of them are doing well. And I used to go during COVID. I used to go to their town hall meetings because they were virtual. And I had a ball tearing up shit. I used to just tear everything.
Oh, that would be fun. But I love Senator Kennedy.
Yeah, because he's a he's a no nonsense. For some reason, Louisiana has been changing its politics because the state's changing financially. Since oil is not going to be the number one product for us anymore, we're changing. And a lot of times, like last year, so we made number 3 city in the world for tourism, number 1 in the United States again. But it goes back and forth. Sometimes we're number 10, but it's nice to see us in the world because we're anywhere from 2 to 7 worldwide as a city to visit. It's a great city as long as you know where you're going. Don't go wander on streets.
I hate to hear that about crude oil because we transferred a lot of crude oil down there to the water. To
the salt domes. Yeah. By the way, I'm glad you brought that up because Biden is going to sign a bill so we can't sell oil to China anymore. Oh my God! Some of this stuff is just you're like, really? And how long this has been going on?
He stopped fracking and he cut off the Keystone pipeline.
Yeah, which was just 2 ignorant things to do. He heard Canada, right. He heard us. We could be driving around right now on $1.50 gas, but instead most everybody's paying at least $3 because the president's ignorant. It's no, I don't hate Joe Biden. Whoever said that,
I do.
I'll say it.
He's a liar. He's always been a liar. He's a narcissist.
And I'm glad that's another thing. So
he lied about his accomplishments. Anything he's done in his life, he's a scumbag loser.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. So they've got 21 news agencies over 50 times tell him he always says he was part of the whatchamacallit movement when the black movement started. He always says he's part of it. And he talks about how he used to.
First person, the filibuster, the longest filibuster we've had in history, 75 days. And Joe Biden.
He was anti-black for a long time.
Civil rights. Joe Biden was the number 1 person that held up that filibuster. And he was best friends with Robert C. Byrd. That's West Virginia. That we still have his name on everything. We even have a Robert C. Byrd airport that nobody's tearing down or taking. He was the head of the KKK.
Well, the thing about it is
passionate. For me,
Biden had made some of the strictest laws in the country for things like crack and cocaine and stuff like that. He was anti-black for a long time.
We're handing out crack packs.
But when he's up there saying that he was part of the movement and he's been busted, so they played 50 cuts at him saying this 50 different times, and 22 times where the media corrected him and he continued saying it.
He's a narcissist.
This isn't all right now. Some of this stuff dates back 15, 20 years. I'm like, Jesus, he just can't help it. Yeah, he's a
narcissist, psychopath, sociopath.
He's a compulsive liar.
And I'm almost to the point where Ashley Biden's diary came out and it's proven to be fact. And Hunter Biden's laptops. I almost think that his children are screaming for help, and they plotted these.
Yeah, they were. His children were screaming
to be exposed.
The only smart one got out early. He was like, I got to get out of here, man.
And he died.
That's what I'm saying. He checked out early because the family was insane. To me, and I know I shouldn't say this, I'll probably get us banned again. But for me, all these documents spread across all these places that Hunter Biden had access to just stinks of, hey, look, this is how, because he was vice president. And at that time, Hunter was working for Burisma and all these other Chinese and Russian ties. I think that was the way he was feeding these informations to these countries. And that's how he's getting paid. Oh, yeah, let me give you $5 million for working for a month. Really? Yeah. Really? Who believes that crap? I mean, the guy didn't even know what a damn crude oil thing was. He didn't know what a cracker unit was. I remember the guy from Shell asked him, he said, you know what a cracker unit is? And he said, "You mean like crackers?" And the guy just looked at him. He said, "No, that's how we separate crude oil into all the different types of stuff we use." I know that's like first year basics if you know anything about oil production. Obviously, this guy had no clue what was going on. And then there's stuff. Oh, Joe
You
Biden
know
goes over
who
there. You better
founded
fire that
Burisma?
guy before I don't give you your $1 billion. I mean, I'm not even understand Biden's not even in jail for that. If Trump would have been
You
that,
know
he'd
who
be in jail.
found? You know who
Yeah.
founded Burisma?
Who?
Ihor Klimovsky. Ihor Klimovsky is one of the top 20 richest people in the world. Ihor Klimovsky also founded the Azov Battalion in Ukraine that was trained by our CIA. That's Nazi regime.
So many
Now,
people.
Ihor Klimovsky also owned a Hollywood production company that Zelensky played a role in their #1 show, pretending he was the president of Ukraine. Ihor Klimovsky is also best friends with George Soros. Nobody follows the money. And all of this is a big money scheme. It's all being laundered. Ukraine is a cesspool of the elite. And it's disgusting. And they're using our taxpayer money to fund it all while we are absolutely in inflation, in recession. Actually, we're collapsing. America is collapsed, in my opinion.
Well, it's not collapsed yet, but we may hit a recession.
It's almost right there.
Well, no, because there's so much spending going on. We're not really in that kind of collapse. We could be.
I'm telling you, when eggs are $10 a dozen.
Well, but you see, for you, they're $10 a dozen. For me, they're $2.50 a dozen. It's
what, you got your own chickens? What are we doing?
No, that's what they cost down here. That's what they are down here. $2.50 a dozen. Ground meat's $1.99 a pound. Gas is $2.69.
What are you all doing down there? I gotta move down there then. What's your cost of living?
We live in a deep south. Well, I bought a $360,000 house for $750 a month.
Okay. Well, I have about $100,000 house for $425, and that's escrow.
It's but there's so much stuff you can do down here, and like rental properties and all are cheap. You can get like a 2-bedroom townhouse usually for about $550 a month. Live right there by the water and stuff.
You know why? Because you all have John Kennedy there. That's why.
Well, no, I mean,
Kennedy. That's why.
No. New Orleans is far more expensive than where I live in the Gulf Coast, which is different. All the grocery stores here all get local product. All our beef is local. That's why it's cheap and it's way better than that crap everybody else is eating. No Mexican beef here. As a matter of fact, Mississippi.
Our beef is not that bad. We're just now seeing eggs. Eggs are $9.18 a dozen here in Kentucky.
Well, Mississippi told Walmart they can't bring in Mexican beef into the state anymore. They said, no, you can't bring that in our state anymore. Then they told them, you know what, you really need to buy from our beef people. Well, they produce some of the best beef in the country here, so it's all black Angus, grain fed, really good stuff. It's and it's not, you know. The other day I went and picked up 3 whole filet mignons for $9.99 a pound. I think they were 30, 40, and 25.
You know
so like
that they've injected our beef with the COVID vaccine.
Not down here, they're not. That's what I'm saying. We have local grown products. You're not going to get these Kunon and rednecks to inject nothing in their beef. They'll soon put a bullet in your ass. It's different. See, the southern states especially are much stricter on this kind of stuff. These people are not letting you screw around with their food. There's no real, whatchamacallit, what was the company, the GMO company that was giving all the seeds that wouldn't reproduce live seeds anymore? You had to keep buying them. None of that's allowed down here. Everything down here produces grain, produces seed. They just don't allow that kind of stuff, and they never did. I mean, there's a bunch of states down here grow a lot of grain, a lot of cows, a lot of pigs, a lot of chickens. Mississippi grows a lot of chickens, and it's one of the other reasons why we're not got as hard hit on the eggs is because Mississippi is a chicken producing state. And this just tells you how crappy this is. In case you haven't noticed, ladies and gentlemen, so Pepperidge Farms, one of the farms up in northern Mississippi, they found one chicken with the flu. One chicken. They killed 5 million in that whole house. And I'm thinking, okay, so you wanted to kill them. It's fine. You've tested all the rest before you killed them. That way you could have gave them out to people, sold them, sent them to old folks' homes and shit. It never made any sense to me. Oh, well, it's potential my ass. You got it. Why don't you give it a couple of days to see if any more got it and then kill them? It made no sense to me. Well, it's in the place somewhere. That's why the chicken got it. I was like, oh, well, okay. But then that's happened several times this year. And that's like when doing COVID, killing all the hogs. I'm like, what? We're going to kill how many hogs because we can't do what with them? Why don't we send them to Mexico? Why don't we send them overseas? Why don't we give them to somebody who needs them instead of killing them by the thousand? Sometimes the United States just makes me wonder who the hell's actually running this country. It's just some decisions we make are just ignorant. It's not like we're taking the time to make decisions. We're in the media. We got to rush. And liberals, I don't know. The whole entire thing with the liberals on the COVID just seemed to be a nightmare. They couldn't even pull it together as much as Trump did, and he was in the beginning of it. We got better money under Trump. The COVID virus gets done under Trump. Biden didn't do any of that stuff, So what the hell?
Destroyed small business, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Just destroyed them.
It did. It destroyed a lot of them. Matter of fact, the company called me the other day and said, you've got enough employees that you qualify for the $26,000 an employee. I'm like,
Joe.
My company. I said my company was making money during COVID. I said,
I don't care if they're going to give you money, take it.
I don't know. I mean, we were essential workers in the fact that, we own a construction and a maintenance company. So the construction company wasn't making any money. And that's where I really make my big money at. But the maintenance company was still, making daily money. It was just, between that and what the government was giving us, we were still afloat. Because the government was giving me, $800 a week every week. So I was like, cool. It's not enough to pay all my bills, granted, but with the stuff the company was bringing in, it was. So it made a difference in my life because
if you can get something, take it. Is all I gotta say because I've given, and by golly, I will take it.
So what do you want, Jeffrey? You mean my monthly bills? Can I lie? All right, if I tell the truth,
you can't lie. No, but if I tell the truth.
If I tell the truth, including my house note, my insurance, probably right at $5,000 a month, maybe $4,800 a month.
Okay, well, I'm way cheaper than you, buddy. All my bills, my mortgage, insurance, and everything in Kentucky. This is just I'm a debt-free person. I do not live in debt, so all of and this is groceries included, $1,400 a month.
That's good. That's good. Carol, I pay 2 car notes.
I have a 1,400 square foot home on the first level.
That's I mean, my house ain't much bigger. It's only like 1,600 square feet. It's 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Yeah, but it's on the water. That's why it costs more.
Mine's possibly 3-bedroom and a bath and a half.
So you mean how much credit card debt? I carry about $20,000 in credit card debt. And I've got a $20,000 personal loan out and 2 car notes. And the insurance on the house is about $500.
My Honda Civic is 20 years old this year, everybody. My dad was like, my dad tried to get me to get a new car. I'm the only owner. I have 180,000 miles on this sucker. I keep it good. But next year I am getting a new car. I'm hoping this will last me one last year.
I've had old cars. I've had new cars. I usually like to buy a car that's 3 or 4 years old. That way, I don't feel like I'm getting ripped off. I will never buy a
brand new car.
You get ripped off, you can buy brand new because the day you drive it off, you lose a third the value. So you've got to keep it 4 years before you sell a damn thing to make any money off of it. Well, like
I'll be looking for a 2020 or 2021 car when I buy a new car.
Well, I bought my son 2020 Fiat Forte. Beautiful car. I'm not a big fan of Kia, but beautiful car. So he had the car 8 months. First transmission went out in it. Okay. Put a new transmission in. 6 months later, transmission goes out again. Okay, dude. 6 months after that, the transmission goes out yet again. So they put the new transmission in. He leaves the place to come home and it dies in the parking lot. The transmission just quit in the parking lot. So they bring it back. They fix it. They give it to him. So a couple of weeks ago, matter of fact, we got a lawsuit against him right now. He goes, we bring it in. He says, "Oh, I think the engine's gone." I said, "Dude, you better not tell me that." "Oh, well, we need all your oil change stuff so we can fix it." I said, "No, you don't. It's not anywhere in my thing." And I said, "The oil, I can tell you now, it's been changed at Firestone at least 5 times." I said, "So that's plenty enough for the engine to go out." I said, "Do you ever thought that maybe it was overheating every time the transmission went out on the car, over revving?" I said, "If you want to make me sue you, fine, I will." I said, "But I'm not going to just sue you. I'm going to sue the independent dealer who said it." And he's like, "Well, wait, no, it's Kia." I said, "No, that's you, dude. I talked to Kia." Kia said, "It's up to you." I said, "So since you're saying no, I already served them. They're pissed. They wrote to me a big old letter. Wrote to me. I said, 'You're going to fix my car. I still got 30,000 miles left on my warranty." I said, and it's an all-encompassing warranty. Plus, on top of that, my Geico insurance also has a warranty up to 99,000 miles in the car. I'm kind of like, I shouldn't even have to fight with him. It should just be a done deal. I'm moving to California. That's it.
I'm staying in Appalachian Mountains. Nobody's not gonna mess with us here in Appalachia.
Doctor Dexter, you want to pay all my bills? Feel free, man. Write to me. I'll tell you all. You can pay them all.
Pay my bills. I'm way cheaper than Joe.
Well, I got 60,000 outstanding bills. When I get up my house note too, but I only owe 105 on my house. So
let's do a GoFundMe. Help Emily buy a brand new car. No, I'm just kidding.
165,000 pays off all my bills. That's cheap in today's world, man. Shit.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny? Until no 100, it's 175,000, 165,000.
Oh, well, I don't.
But you know what's funny is
that.
So you know what's funny about that is 5 years ago I had no debt at all, zero debt. Well, COVID hurt me.
Did you meet a woman or something? What happened?
No, I bought a house, which always needs money. I mean, I just got through spending. I put all new hard applewood floors in and all new touchless Samsung black appliances in. The appliances alone ran me like $14,000.
Oh,
and then the hardwood floor itself, which when I finish, we still got to put in the hallway, the second hallway. The floor, just the wood alone, was $16,500.
Did the Amish do it?
No.
You got to come up to Appalachian country. Amish would have done it for the fraction of the price of that, and they would have probably done it.
Yeah, well, we install it ourselves.
Expensive.
Oh, no, we love the Amish here.
Oh, yeah, I know, man. You ever buy one of them Amish fireplaces? They want like $1,800 for one of them things.
No, we have Amish country 20 minutes from my house. They're not that bad.
Look, I'm glad you said that. So the other day I wanted to buy some Amish butter. It comes in a roll. They want $14 for this roll of butter. I'm like, you can keep that butter, man. I said, I'll go buy some of the other.
It's not
some
like
of the
that
Indian
around my
Lakes
parts.
butter. Say,
it might be out of other states and stuff that's not close.
But that's true because when I was stationed in Tennessee, we used to drive up to Kentucky for booze and cigarettes. We used to get them dirt cheap up there. We drive up to commissary and we get them dirt cheap. Cigarettes were like 44 cents a pack. Man, you get Jack Daniels for almost nothing.
That's bourbon, whiskey.
We'd pack up a whole trunk of the car and bring it down to Louisiana and sell it. Make a freaking profit and a half, man. But, people, I'm going to tell you all this up front, people, so y'all don't get yourselves in trouble. Bringing cigarettes or booze across state lines is considered bootlegging, and you can go to jail for it. So if you ever look at the bottom of your cigarette pack, there's a colored stamp on the bottom of that. So that's a tax you paid in that state. Mississippi will do it to you, too. If you come in this state with liquor with an out-of-state stamp, the very least you're going to get is a $500 fine. It's a very least.
Well, here in Kentucky, if you take a chicken and you walk it down Main Street in the middle of the day and it makes a sound, you go to jail.
Why you be taking a chicken? Leave the poor chicken away, man. We gotta leave these chickens alone.
That's still in the books here. That's still the books.
Oh
here.
wait, we still got every Sunday in the afternoon. You can take a 4-inch belt out and beat your wife for an hour. It's still legal on the books here.
Oh my goodness.
There's one in Chicago that's really weird. It's like you can't and I think it's a day only on one day. It's like, but you can't put a ice cream cone upside down in your pocket on a Sunday. It's a for real law. Like in Chicago.
It's weird. People are weird.
You can't put an ice cream cone.
And we still have all the Napoleonic laws down here. They've never overturned for some reason. I'm like, what the hell, people? Some of them laws are crazy laws. I don't know. It's weird stuff. It's I guess they just figure
here's 12 we don't have to go through all 12 obviously. 12 everyday things you didn't know. One of them, using a fake name online.
I'd rather use my real name.
Online could be fined up to $500. Even a fake Facebook page is fraudulent information. Isn't that weird? Stealing Wi-Fi. You know what I did with my Wi-Fi connection? Because I found out a neighbor was stealing my Wi-Fi. You wanted I changed my Wi-Fi name to FBI surveillance.
It's funny, but I see FBI surveillance fan all the time in different neighborhoods. You'll see it. That's what they write on their Wi-Fi connection.
On there. One of the guys. I don't even know how they got.
Yeah. One of the guys by our office building's been the FBI surveillance van for, I don't know, 12 years now.
Spitting in Dodge City, Kansas, in Massachusetts, and New York City. If you spit, even water spit or chewing tobacco spit, if you spit in public, it can spread disease and you can be arrested.
Yeah, arrest him.
Sitting on the sidewalk in Santa Cruz, California, and Virginia Beach, Virginia. Sitting on a sidewalk, you can be arrested.
Well, in Singapore, you can be arrested for chewing gum and spitting it on the floor. Who sent me the Vogue thing? I'm not interested in Teen Vogue. What the hell is this about? Greta Thunberg. Oh, I don't even want to
that require you to be a dog. If you don't,
somebody's probing her.
Old self, California, New York. Listen to this. In California, New York, Illinois, and Carolina, just states where it's illegal. Before you make sure to research it.
All right, what are you watching? Porn or something?
This was illegal. I threw away several. Thank goodness Kentucky wasn't on that list.
There's a lot of weird stuff going around. I mean, there's a lot of weird laws all over this country. I mean, there's just weird stuff. You know, they tried to close down this place in Alabama because they're famous for throwing rolls at you. So that's when you want to roll, and they throw it to you. But it's even weirder than that. They have teenagers sitting around with these big steel buckets full of food, and they're like leaning against the walls like that, and you just wave at them, and they bring you more. And I'm thinking, really, this kid's breathing over this food. For God knows, I'm not eating this shit. There's no way. It's not going to happen, man. And this was before COVID. I forgot the name of it, Lambert's or something, but that's there. And anybody you drive by, parking lot's packed.
Yeah, we talked about Canada.
Yes, we love
Canada. About Canada. Canadian radio stations. Listen to this. The Canadians are a patriotic bunch. So much so that all Canadian radio stations are required by law to play Canadian artists on the airways at least 35% of the time, especially during the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
But they're playing a lot of Rush.
Crazy.
I know.
More than right. Nickelback. Was it Nickelback? I'm trying to think.
I don't know.
Not a fan of Nickelback, but I know Rush is Canadian.
I used to listen to growing up.
There's a couple of songs I like that Nickelback sings.
Another. The woman that she's in Vegas right now, her husband was like 40-some years old and she's 15.
Celine Dion.
Celine Dion, wasn't she Canadian?
She's Canadian. She's Canadian.
We started late then. No, I wasn't blowing kisses at y'all too.
You getting a puppy over there?
I wasn't blowing kisses at y'all too. I was just looking at it over there. No, it's actually somebody keeps trying to send me the police officers that killed this guy, but it won't come through on my computer for some reason. It just keeps coming up blank names.
FYI, if you go to Switzerland and you want to hike, in Switzerland, you cannot hike naked. It's illegal. Do not hike in Switzerland naked.
Why the hell would you want to go to Switzerland other than that unless you want to smoke weed? Okay, let me see.
Yeah, and isn't it covered with 90% ice? Why would you want to hike naked there anyway?
Naked in Switzerland? Have you ever thought about that? Is that a bucket list item? I don't know.
It's in the snow. No way. That's never going to happen.
I ain't getting no naked in the snow. Y'all can keep that for yourselves. Even though I did do the Polar Bear Club for 2 years, and I said y'all can keep that too. Why won't this thing come through with these 5 cops' names?
You might have to close out the live to see it. That happens to me sometimes.
I'm trying to. I just wrote to a friend of mine while we were talking. He's still awake, and he's a cop of this. I said, let me send it. He said, I'll look him up for myself. I said, well, I want to know who these guys are.
I want to look him up. I couldn't find him on the payroll. So
well, he's gonna look him up on the whatever you call it, the roll. He's going.
If he can find him, I'd like to see it.
He's going to pull up the what the hell you call it? When you you're checking off people. Hey, I'm here, 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 here. Anyway, he's going to check it on whatever he called it, the roll. He said he's going to. He said as long as he knows what department it is, he can find out. You know what
he can find out specifically if they were on the payroll in 2020.
Well, what he can do is he can find out once he knows what shift it is, he can actually find out the officer in charge, and they can tell him if they were attending. Because every day they have a briefing and you have to attend, and they do a roll call every day. He said if he can find the roll call, he can find out exactly who they are and where they're from. He said because he just said they've been a lot of cops been transferring in.
I want to see payroll. I want to see him on payroll. You should be able to find that.
Not if they're transfers, because you're looking at the wrong division. If he said what's been going on with a lot of cops up there, they've been transferring them in from other divisions, from other parts of the state. And he said the other part of the state still carries the payroll.
Well, then I can find him on a different part. I can't look at the state.
Well, that's what I said. That's why he's trying to. That's what he's trying to find out. He's trying to find out if they're on the roll call, the daily roll call. He said if they're on the daily roll call, he said then it's pretty easy to find out where they are. But that's what he's looking for, their names right now, and then he's going to find out if they're on a daily roll call.
Well, Joe, let me know. I'm going to have to hop off here because I have.
Yeah, we got to go. It's a quarter after, but yeah, you got to go. You got to go. You got to go basketball tomorrow. I was going to say baseball.
Oh,
they actually allow people to play basketball in Kentucky. That's like a Yankee game.
We are known for basketball, horses, and bourbon.
Yeah,
that's like a Yankee game
in Boston.
I know it's like a Yankee game, man. No, it's a Yankee game. Y'all are there playing a Yankee game. Shame on y'all. See, I can see New Orleans doing it.
Here's something else. We all need to pray for the women in our country that are battling another battle in sports. I posted this on my Facebook page. The NCAA, shame on you. Shame on you that they're allowing these cross-dressers or these, I don't know what you want to call transgenders to come in. What specifically there was a NCAA school that a 6'4" player that would undress in the women, and they felt unsafe. They addressed it and they wouldn't take him away out of it. They are getting, I hate this. I hate this so much. We fought so long and hard for women's sports to have our own division in professional on all levels. And now this is being taken away from us. And the women that are coming out and stepping forward saying that they feel unsafe, they feel that this is wrong, they are being sent to counseling therapy to accept the transgender. Forget it.
All your state has to do is ban it. That's what we did down here. We banned it. We said we're not allowing it. No way. I hope it
bans. But I posted it on my personal social media today. I played basketball. I played college.
And I'm confused why Biden hasn't done it, because Biden spoke like, no, that shouldn't be like that too. So I'm confused.
Biden has transgenders in his own administration.
Everyone that was a transgender has actually been removed from his. They've all either
because they got arrested.
Well, yeah, the guy did, the one with the bald head. Oh, he was a freak. He wasn't. I don't know what he was. He was just a freak.
And then he replaced him with that one girl. The guy that's a girl that's on TikTok replaced him with another transgender.
So he said he found Justin Smith's graduation pictures. He hasn't found nothing.
I want payroll. I want to see money.
Yeah,
Show me the money.
He's tracking this guy from graduation to being a police officer. There's no doubt he was on the force.
Show me the money. Show me the payroll. They were not what I've looked. I did 2022. I didn't think I could find really that much in 2023 already. 2022 and 2021, I could not find these people on the payroll.
Let's see. But he's definitely got Justin Smith graduation stuff. He's even got the officer that was in charge of the graduation, the officer in charge of his transfer. He's got him paper from start to now. So he's definitely – doesn't mean the other four is now.
Well, hold on. Out of the five, I only did the first three. I can't.
And that's the only one so far, by the way, he's found anything on. He said the computer's still searching. And like he just said, man, it shouldn't take this long. He said, but I'll keep looking.
Tell him to look me up. Emily Menshouse on Facebook. Look me up. I want to know about this. We can do a special show on this on YouTube or something.
Emmett Martin's come up, but he said he's got to read through it. There's a bunch of shit came up on it. He's like, this dude must have got his ass in trouble a couple of times. Oh, and that's something else he was talking about. And this is something going on in New Orleans.
4 out of the 5 people have been in trouble already.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So that's something else going on in New Orleans now because we can't find officers. So if you've had a drug issue, a drug problem, but it's more than 10 years old, we don't care. If you got arrested for like burglary, as long as it's not a violent crime, you can be a cop now. I'm like, what? We're giving criminals badges.
Well,
I'm like,
it's because it's so short staffed, though. Who wants to be a police officer now? Who wants to?
Because police officers get hated on so much.
They don't get paid that much.
You come down here to put you to work tomorrow, man. They're desperate. New Orleans Police Force is down, I think, 600 or 500 officers or something.
I don't want to be a police officer. I'm telling my son.
But yeah, this is what's so funny.
Tell my son to be a firefighter.
So this is what's so funny. New Orleans can't get police officers. Jefferson Parish and Kenner can't. They got too many police officers because these are great places to work. The crime is low. People are respectful. They're not anti-policemen. They're like, hey, we love y'all. We're glad you're doing your job. Keep us safe. New Orleans, man, look, they shoot at cops. They spit at cops. They don't care. Just because you got a badge means jack to these people. But guys and girls, we got to get out of here. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. If y'all have any information on these 5 officers, it's Demetrius Haley, Desmond Mills Jr., Emmett Martin III, Justin Smith, and Teradicious. I'm not saying his first name right. Bean. If you can find, and I see why he found Justin Smith's record because he looks like the youngest one in the bunch. If you have any other information on these officers in any other way, if you're from the Memphis area and you know some interesting stuff, maybe you were friends with them, maybe you've seen them in action, write to me at iCarCox.net. Let's just say we're doing our own preliminary investigation just to see who they were. You know, I often want to see sometimes the motive for people or the method motive in their brain, why someone does something, if it isn't related, like the white cops that stood at a guy's neck. You know, a lot of people thought it was this, that, or the other thing. No, the white guy was just a pig. He was an ignorant bastard, and that's what he did. And that's why he went to prison. Were these guys the same thing? You know, are these guys the same thing? Is it something else? Who knows? We'll have to wait and find out. Oh, they've all been fired. All of them. They're already bringing charges against them, so we'll see where it goes. So, like with the other cops, they all went to jail. I think 3 of them ended up getting off, but in the beginning, they all went to jail. We'll see here what happens. You can always tell something like if 5 people get arrested and only one of them gets to jail, then you got to wonder what actually something really stinks then. So you got to wonder what's going on. But, you know, also policemen need to learn better ways to restraining people. I think we should use tranquilizers, man. Once you start acting like an ass, just trank them. And because obviously mace doesn't work and freaking tasers don't work. And I'll tell you why. If you're ex-military, real quick, because we got to go. First thing they teach you in boot camp is how to do tear gas. They put you in a chamber with your whole company, fill it full of tear gas, take your mask off and recite your general orders. Because if you happen to be in a combat situation or even captured, you have to learn how to deal with that kind of stuff. And believe it or not, most of us adapt with it pretty quickly. And you just go on about your business after that.
I want to know how many actually violent situations that police officers get in. I don't know if it's that much.
Oh, it's a lot. I know down here it's a lot.
Marijuana, we have a lot of drug stuff here, and most of those people are not violent offenders.
Emily, it's more than you think. The honest truth is most of the conflicts that the police actually get into really aren't violent criminals, but generally is domestic violence.
Domestic violence.
And that's civil. It's civil.
Yeah, it is. It's more civil. But that's where they get into the most trouble. Those are the most dangerous calls a policeman can ever get out. And I know this because for 2 years I was a police explorer, which is an offshoot of the Boy Scouts. So I did ride-alongs with police. I did it every week. I went to a meeting with police, actual live police officers, and they talked about the job and all these other things. And they actually have training classes where the officers go to role-playing incidents where like a couple play out a domestic violence incident and the two officers have to get through it without being stabbed or injured. It's an actual test that they have to go through. So that's the worst case scenario. That's where most cops get injured and killed.
I know this. They don't get paid enough. Our EMTs or ambulance people, they don't get paid enough either. Our firefighters, they don't get paid enough.
Well, that's the thing I've been bitching about for years. So we'll pay a football player $20 million a year, but we won't pay a cop $50,000 a year. I don't get that. Cops should make at least even down here. Cops should make $100 a year. Up north, they should make $175 a year. Places like Cali, Chicago, they should make more than that. And if we're not going to pay them that, we can't expect them to stay honest or be on our side all the time or to be perfect all the time.
Would you guys like to hear the starting pay for Montgomery County, Maryland police officer for his first year as a rookie policeman?
$24,000.
The starting range is like $31,000 to like somewhere in the $32,000 range. It's not.
Yeah, they just
it's like $15 an hour.
Yeah, they just went up in New Orleans, I think, to 35.
More
now,
like maybe 18 or 19. Yeah, but
if you can get on with Kenner or Metairie, they start at $55,000 a year, and within 2 years you're making $75,000. It's a little different here, but New Orleans is not how it is. New Orleans is like $30,000, and then you might make $50,000 after 2 or 3 years. But they also expect you to take those extra duties where you make buku money, where they're paying you $75, $100 an hour, which they frown on. But you got to make your living. You can go sit and stand at a bar at a door all day for 10 hours and make $1,000, or you can go patrol for a week and make the same price. So it's a bitch. Somebody's going to fix it, I hope. But anyway, we got to get out of here. Guys and girls, any moans, groans, bitches, gripes, or complaints, write to Michelle DeRoche, because I just don't give a shit. Yes, you can write to Emily, too. She don't mind.
Yeah, write to me. I don't care.
Be sure to catch Emily on Friday early. She's on early Friday at 6 o'clock, so go by and check her out. She's just a troublemaker, so just go check her out. Check out Jay with Church of Mavis. He's right. He follows. Matter of fact, he follows Emily. Emily's the opening show right now. I hear there's going to be a show in front of her pretty soon, but she's the opening show right now for Friday. So openers always have it tough. So y'all should go by and see her and give her some love and say hi. You. And I do like that. And don't forget to see Jay. And then, of course, I'm all over the place, so just look me up when you want to know where I'm at. By the way, we're getting ready to put up – we're in the middle of building a new website. Probably be 2 or 3 weeks before it's up. But we're putting a different kind of schedule on it where the host can actually put the stuff like what they know. Like Emily books out a way so she can actually put up all her guests on her second page. Awesome. And y'all can know who's coming and when somebody's going to be there and when they're not going to be there. Stuff like that. So, but anyway, we got to get out of here before somebody comes and starts bugging me. My chihuahuas haven't quite made it this far yet, but they are walking this way. They're like, Daddy, you're supposed to be off the radio and it's time for some steak or some chicken or whatever happens to be in the refrigerator.
Plus, yes, dogs missed you.
Yes. My dogs are rotten. They're as bad as my grandkids. Or my kids, I should say, because they're rotten too. My son is unbelievably rotten. He's 37. He's spoiled. He's spoiled like my wife. Shh.
Your wife just walked in.
Yeah, she just walked by, actually. Anyway, we got a guy, girls. Remember, be sure to check us all out. I hope you had a good time tonight again. You can write to any of us anytime. It's always a pleasure to have the two with us, Emily and Jay. For some reason, I think I forgot to tell Lori. I was inviting her because I wanted to talk to her about Canada. But remember, guys and girls, you can always jump into this show with us as long as you're not an idiot. And you can hold yourself in the topic matter that we're talking about. We allow people to come in. You can come in the inboard chat room and chat like that. Or if you've been doing pretty good chat, we'll send you a link and you can join us on a thing. Now, we don't allow ugly people on here now. I'm just saying, if you're ugly, don't. We no ugly people allowed. What the hell, people? Get the hell out of here. If you know your topic and you can hold your own with it, you're always welcome on the show. On that note, good night, everyone, and stay tuned for Spaced Out Radio.
Oh, Spaced Out Radio.
Yes, with the Fantabulous and the Fantabulous. Anyway, we're out of here. Good night, everybody.